Here are the new CableMod Modmesh cables that just came in while I was building my new system. If you had asked me a few years ago if I would ever think about replacing the stock power supply cables with aftermarket ones, I look at you as if you were nuts. But I saw some aftermarket ones up close and thought, those look pretty good. I asked about the price and was told they cost about the same as the power supply. Well, that was a deal breaker. Really, for cables? Well, I found some on sale with free shipping. And if you've seen my past vids, you know I'm into the sales or discounts or parts I need whenever I can find them. Word of caution though, buy from an authorized dealer and make sure you get the full kit. Here's a pic I threw together to show what a full kit contains. If you check places like Amazon, they sell cut down kits that are missing PCI cables and so on. So be very careful if you buy these kits. I found a place online in Canada that had a sale with free shipping, which works great for me. I originally wanted black or dark gray, but those sets were sold out, so I got the blue ones. I figured it would look good in an all black and silver accented case. If you're going to purchase these, a second thing you should be aware of is there are two different types of these cable kits. The Modmesh, which is what I purchased, and the ModFlex. There are also Pro versions of each. ModFlex has a pale or washed out looking colors and are softer and are supposed to be flexible at around 2.6mm thick. The Modmesh version, which are slightly thicker cables at around 3mm, have colors that pop more and look better. It's also UV reactive. It glows in the dark when hit by black lighting. It also has a more durable outer sleeve. The Pro versions of each of these kits is thicker at 3.4mm. Check the link in the description, which will have more information about the differences. Here are all the sparkly new fancy cables. This is a 24-pin main motherboard ATX power cable. All these cables are very light and flexible. On the right are the clear cable combs that came with the kit. On the left are the extra set of black cable combs I purchased since I knew the included ones were not enough. I got these from Amazon. Putting the different combs on for a test fit. The clear ones hug really tight and once on do not slide or move. The black ones were loose, and at first I thought I'd be disappointed with them, but later on I really like the fact that it can slide around. Makes setting them in the right spot much easier than having to disconnect them all the time and then reconnecting. Also note, each of these black clips hold two cables between each comb. The clear ones use an over-under mounting. Ah, cute kitty. This is Raven, one of my kitty helpers. You'll hear the jingle clink of their collars in most of my vids. She's recovering from surgery. We found a little spot on her back that turned out to be the beginning stages of a small cancerous growth. So yeah, she's happy to be out of her cone, and the stitches are healing nicely. After she pulled them out, necessitating 2 trips and the same day back to the vet. Yep. Time to take the Corsair power supply out. These stock cables are very stiff and heavy. Another reason why I wanted to change them was that the Corsair 24-pin power cable was putting a lot of downward pressure on the motherboard connector, and trying to bend them into place for the graphics card induced more than a few expletives. I'll be glad to get rid of them. Oh, and for quick reference, here's my old case with my old system build. It has an EVGA power supply with much nicer cables. The cables themselves were individually sleeved and bend really easily and much lighter than the Corsair ones. They were actually great to work with. Hindsight being what it is, it wasn't until I got the new CableMod cables that I thought, hey, I could have reused the EVGA cables instead. Oh well. Now it's just a matter of unplugging the old stiff cables and replacing them with the new ones. Double checking the connections. Still can't believe how light these cables are. I used some twist ties to keep them separated and to prevent them from getting tangled as I move them around. Time to put it back together. The PSU needs to be installed with the fans facing down. Corsair has a USB cable that hooks to a motherboard header. It uses Corsair's ICU or C-Link or whatever to see what the PSU is doing. I installed the software, looked at it, then uninstalled it. It's kind of pointless. It's a PSU. It supplies power when needed. I'll tell you, working with these new cables are so much easier. Did I mention how light and bendy they are? Putting some comb clips on the graphics card connectors. 2 cables go inside each valley. Here's the inside front completed. The 8 and 4 pin power connector on the top left. Moving over to the right, showing the 4 pin fan connector. To the right of that, below the Q code LED display, is a 3 pin RGB connector for the 3 front fans. This is the NVIDIA 3090 graphics card. These are the 3 connectors going to it. Then the 24 pin motherboard connector. Looking straight down, you might not be able to see it clearly, is a USB 3.2 Gen 2 connector for the front panel on the Fantex P600S case, and a USB connector for the fan header. I wanted to create a wind tunnel opening for the air from the front fans to push through and pass between the cables. The cool air would travel along the back of the graphics card and the fins of the air cooler, pushing warm air out the back of the case. Let's have a look at the back of the case. To help keep things even and organized, I installed the clips in the front and slid them over the cables to the back, basically combing the cables and keeping them separate. Worked like a charm. This is why I prefer these black combs over the non-sliding clear ones that came with the kit. Here's the back all done. This is the fan header hub. To the left, 3 case fans that are 3 pins, and the right, 3 front RGB fans that are 4 pin PWM. I spent a good part of the day doing the new cabling. Honestly, it took longer to do this than it took to install the motherboard, CPU, RAM, and graphics card. But in the end, it was definitely worth it for me. This is a far cry from the past, where I didn't really care about how the internals looked. I would just stuff the cables in and call it a day. Now it all looks much nicer. Take her easy out there.